Another week, another video. Thank you so much for watching. But what do I mean? It's a huge problem when you retire in your late 60s. Doesn't everyone retire in their 60s? Yes, the average retirement age is 65. But what do I know? I'm Ryan. I'm a chartered financial advisor and planner, and I've been in the industry for around a decade, and it's literally my job to help people like you retire and have that peace of mind and reassurance that everything's in the right place, working towards your goals. The key thing here is that life expectancy is not what you probably think it is. When you're in your 60s, you don't have you're not halfway through your life. You are way over halfway through your life. Here's a list of life expectancy from around the world, and this is 2025 data, okay? So it's highly relevant to you right now if you're thinking about retiring or planning ahead. You'll notice something quite quickly, I hope. The UK isn't in the top 10 list. There's a number of reasons for that, and that's not the video for this. This is literally a video that's going to be about 5 or 6 minutes. The UK is actually ranked 37 on that list, which is just insane. The average life expectancy for a man in the UK is less than 80 years of age. It's literally 79. The average life expectancy for a woman is around 84 years age. Like, that is years of age, sorry. But the key thing there is that if you are retiring in your 60s, specifically 65, which is the average, you don't have multiple decades ahead of you, unfortunately. So it's really important to prioritize sooner and get your ducks in a row so that you can have the type of retirement you want to have. And so you need to focus on your health. Health is incredibly important in retirement. I'm sure you've heard this before. But the first things that start to go is your health. And when I talk about your health, I mean your senses. Your eyesight, pause the video to read these properly, but your eyesight is by far the first thing that starts going. Your sense of taste, sense of smell, your nerve endings, your senses around touching, feeling things. But the biggest one for me that's easily able to be delayed or prevented entirely is mobility, muscle mass loss. From age 30 to 60, you lose about 15% of your muscle mass, which makes you a lot weaker, susceptible to certain illnesses, and you can't move around as much. So prioritizing protein and strength training, you doing something like yoga, is incredibly important so you can have a really good, really enjoyable retirement and walk up those steps and not be out of breath by the third one or have to get the lift up. You should be really active in retirement because you've worked so hard to be able to do it. I also push clients to start taking mini sabbaticals, 3 months of work, if they can, maybe more, in their 50s. So you can really enjoy that time and have that balance. And a lot of my clients find with proper financial planning, going through the income and expenses, they can partially retire, go down to part-time hours in their late 50s and coast to state pension. So they really get that balance of enjoyment, fulfillment, purpose, spending time with families and loved ones and seeing those things they've always wanted to see throughout their life. You don't have to wait to 65 because that's the thing you think you're meant to do. You don't have to wait to state pension age. State pension age in the UK is 67, soon it'll be 68. And your private pension, your workplace pensions, you can access a whole decade sooner at 57. Well, it's 55 at the moment, rising to 57. That's the first mistake. Your health and life expectancy and not understanding it. The second thing is around your pensions. Most people completely ignore their pensions and their savings until they actually need them, which is just insane to me. A recent study found that 90%, or 26 out of 29 workplace funds underperform the FTSE 100 or the FTSE All Share, which for reference is a really expletive benchmark anyway because the performance has been terrible for the last decade or more. The global markets have performed significantly better. The European markets, the American markets, the Asian markets have outperformed the UK markets. So your workplace have put you in a really underperforming fund. It's not their fault. They're obligated to put you into something, but it's at the moment your problem, your issue to solve and find a good investment solution. So how do we go about that? You can use someone like me. You can do a DIY research and figure out what you're meant to be doing. But a lot of people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s think that they should start turning down that asset allocation for risk. And in some cases, that's completely true. But realistically, you're going to be investing for the rest of your life and just taking from that pot, just turning on a tap and taking some income from it. And we'll talk about tax efficiencies in another video. So hit the follow button or a like, and hopefully I'll be in your algorithm and you'll see the video when I talk about retirement income. But you can afford to take more risk, and you should be aiming for around 7 to 8% year-on-year growth. So when you look at investments, you want to look at the 5-year, 10-year performance history and then divide it by how many years of the performance, and hopefully see that number around 7 or 8%, because you want to beat inflation, you want to invest for your future, and you have decades ahead of you, realistically. So first and foremost, prioritize your health. Understand you should look at retirement now and not just wait to 65 and hope things are going to work out. A lot of people, when they go through financial planning, realize they can retire sooner and make the most of their assets, and then being intentional with their investments and investing for purpose, for growth, for their future. And then the tax efficiency comes into play, where you want to make the most of your money and pay as little as tax as possible, which is completely understand and reasonable if you spent your entire life paying tax. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've got any comments, drop them below and I'll happily answer them.